And away we go, folks. You think I look like Jackie Gleason?
No.
I don't either, thank goodness.
He'd been dead for a while.
He probably still looks pretty good. They embalmed him right. You just can't never tell.
Well, another exciting episode of UGG TV.
Right. Welcome to our Tuesday night production. We've been training for this about all week long, and we're just about as ready tonight as Obama was last Wednesday night.
We have our crack research crew amassing facts and figures so we can present nothing but the truth, the whole truth, and all them truths.
Right. Whatever number you come up with, we'll be glad to cook it for you.
So, what's going on up the road, Bob?
Well, I don't know, really. You know, I heard that we had a big plant closing coming in Tennessee.
What's that?
I didn't get the name of it, but several hundred people are going to be laid off. They're closing the plant, and, you know, that's a pretty good indication that the economy is on a rebound.
Yeah, they're getting ready to hire them for bigger and better things.
Right, that's right, you know. And, you know, I was just mentioning a while ago, I don't see how in the world when we produced less jobs last month than we have, I think, at any time this past year, and have the unemployment figures to drop from 8.1 to 7.8. Now that's a 0.3 of a point drop, and they produced somewhere, the average is about 28,000 a month, and they only produced 114 last month, and but the unemployment figure went down.
I know, that's amazing. I've always been amazed at the way some people count.
You know, that maybe have something to do with this modern math that they teach in school, where they approximate and estimate.
And round off.
And round off, you know, and, you know, I guess they round off about 10, 11% unemployment. They rounded it off to 7.9.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's close. It's like horseshoes. It's like horseshoes.
Right, yeah, yeah. Close counts in horseshoes, and I guess when you're heading into a political election, you know, the month before the election, I guess close is supposed to count then also.
Well, what about, have you ever got any satisfaction on your wheels?
On what?
On your wheels?
No, I haven't. That's another thing that needs to be brought about. You know, I turned the police report in on the 20th of September, detailing the theft of 9 aluminum wheels, and also at that time gave them the information as to who stole them, and gave them an eyewitness, directed them to an eyewitness that witnessed the theft of my 9 aluminum rims from my property. And I did go down there finally, and they tried to call me and missed me. I missed their call, and I tried to call back. Nobody seemed to know who called me, and from the courthouse, from the city hall. And then I think they come down here looking for me. I wasn't here, so I guess they feel like they have given it their best.
Do you reckon maybe we're just not well connected or something?
Possibly.
Well, we bet on the wrong horse, I guess.
Right, I guess so. You know, the horse that we didn't bet on is still in the running for some accolades.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah, you know, that's one thing that it's kind of got me in one of them dilemmas, you know, as to who to vote for or who not to vote for.
It's hard to vote against everybody, ain't it?
Well, it's hard to vote against everybody. I'm voting for Virgil Kidwell.
For both offices?
For both offices. I hope he gets elected to both of them, and because Virgil is perfectly capable of wearing 2 hats.
Wonder why
He's got 2 heads. I don't see why in the world he couldn't wear 2 hats.
Wonder why our representative of the state has not been on the show this year. Didn't need no votes, I guess.
He probably doesn't need us, you know.
Yeah.
he's done such a good job representing the state that I guess he feels like he's entitled to be reelected.
I guess that's the way it works.
Let me tell you what my dilemma is.
What's your dilemma?
Between on city mayor. You know, Mike, in all honesty, I don't think has any authority or control over the city. He claims he does, and it's always somebody else's responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Wayne, on the other hand, if he is elected mayor, he will exercise control over the city, but I don't like what he wants to do.
Well, I understand that.
He wants to, I'm sure he's probably going to rehire or attempt to rehire David Young as city administrator.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's wanting to put Cliff Jennings, that old has-been, that can't get elected to anything anymore. He's wanting to put him on the Public Utilities Board.
Yeah.
So, and those are two things that I am vehemently against. In other words, I am diametrically opposed to that. I don't like that.
Well, what am I working on here?
So, that is my dilemma, you know. I think if you keep Mike in there, he'll keep David Young and Cliff Jennings out. And that might be good enough for me.
You think that'd do it?
Hmm?
You think that would do it?
I think so. It depends on who you elect as councilman. You know, if you elect Bob Fannin, he's going to be right in there backing David Young and Cliff Jennings again. So a vote for Bob Fannin is a vote for Cliff Jennings.
I think we just about run out of material myself.
Well, just riding down the road, you know, you got all kind of businesses closed right in the heart of the business district. Down where Thomas Pond shop, that building is closed, the one past it. The two buildings prior to going to Thomas Pond shop on the right-hand side are closed. That's
yeah, but we're getting a new fountain.
Oh yeah, well you know why they're putting a new fountain in, don't you?
So, because they lost the old one?
No, really. Mary is having to go down to Tank Springs and bathe.
No.
You know, she used to bathe in that fountain uptown there.
I've not seen her in a while.
And well, I went down to Tank Springs the other day and she was just climbing out of her bathtub.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh well, I ain't gonna get into that one.
I went down there. She was. I'm not saying she was in the springs, but she was just finished bathing. I don't see nothing wrong with that, you know. The water you was bathing in flowed on down the creek, you know, and it's go right down to the scenic
walking trail.
Sure, so it's water purification plant down there, you know, and they ought to be able to purify Mary out of that water.
Well, Bob, anything else going on?
Well, if there's anything else I could stir up, I went over there to the beer joints across the creek, across the road over there.
Mm-hmm.
Over they cut them bushes down, they have a pretty good scenic view over there of a bather in Tank Springs.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the report from the bathtub. Anything else happening?
Well, let's see if there's anything else I can stir up some controversy over.
I believe I'll just stay out of some of this.
Oh, Lord.
We went over to Vital Care
the
other day and made us a video. We're going to show it tomorrow night and times thereafter. I was impressed with what they had over there. I didn't know they was that big an outfit. They got 20-something employees and ambulances are sitting all over the place. And
right. You got the only one that has a portable ventilator.
Yeah.
In other words, if you need ventilating,
They can ventilate you while they're going down the road.
They get through incubating you down there in Jacksboro.
They didn't get no incubator stuff up there at the Vital Care place.
You mean they weren't incubating?
No, it's like the rest of us.
How did they ever get their business off the ground?
I don't know. I guess it's just a sad thing, but 562-9370 if you need a ride in a big old ambulance.
Telephone number. And they were not incubated, nor resuscitated, nor ventilated. They just went in there and opened them up a business. And that's what you have to do, folks. I'm doing the best I can to get one open up down here in Jacksboro Park.
A whole lot of trouble keeping it open when they keep tearing it down and throwing it over the hill, ain't
it? You know, that's the very purpose of government, you know, just go in there and tear a business up, you know.
And throw it over the hill.
Yeah, they're experts at that.
Well, maybe if we'd get on the right side of the political fence, we'd be all right.
Can't trust them.
I've noticed that they change sides on you after you get on there with them.
You can't trust them. I never will. I should have known that. I never will forget when Alma and her husband, who's deceased now, were down there running the
flea market.
The flea market. They were just campaigning for Cliff up one side and down the other. And Cliff come by and he was all smiles and everything. And I said, Cliff, I said, have you told them people you're going to fire them as soon as you get elected? He said, as soon as he got elected, he fired them.
Yeah.
After they had campaigned for him.
Yeah.
And so you mean just because you campaign for somebody don't mean that they're going to ever remember who you are once you get elected.
Ain't like cheerers, they don't even know your name.
Said that way. That's about like Mike and Hanford. And then you got our state representative, Dennis Powers. You know, Dennis has got so thick in with the teachers union and other things that the state has espoused, and he didn't even know us up here. You might ought to remind him exactly who he represents.
Well, I don't think there's any hope.
I doubt it.
I believe we just showed up one way or the other.
Yeah, you know, I just don't know what's going to happen county-wise, city-wise.
I know what's going to happen. They're going to go broke and raise taxes both places.
When they go broke, as long as they can go back to the well and get more water, they're going to keep drinking it and pouring it out on the ground. They need to be as frugal and as conserving as my daddy was. We put in a pitcher pump. We had a well that probably put out 15 to 20 gallons a minute. There's nowhere in the world you could pump that well dry. But I was up there pumping water with that pitcher pump. My daddy said, boy, you better quit wasting that water. You know, and because the old adage is, you waste not, you want not. And I think that's very, very true. And I think our politicians need to learn that. You know, Potter keeps saying he's not for a tax increase, but he sure is pushing them to give him more money, and he knows the only way he's going to get any more money is to raise taxes. So
what he needs to do is just let the potholes form and forget about it.
Right.
I mean, that's what I'd do.
Yeah.
But I'm tickled to death with Wild Bob and Ronnie guardrail.
It was guardrail and Wild Bob and Ronnie Expressway going up through there. Now that has been a magnificent addition to the county landscape scene, and we really appreciate that. And you know, those guardrails work a lot better up there to keep people from running over the cliff than they would if they're blocking off some business so somebody can't get in there.
Well, I have to agree with you on that.
I mean, what in the world if they were to put those guardrails up there in front of that lawnmower repair place up on, what's that, Kentucky Avenue?
Yeah.
I mean, what if they went back and put the guardrails up so nobody could get in there with a lawnmower?
We'd just be in trouble, I suppose.
Right. So you just have to decide one day, if that was me, would I want that done to me?
Well, we ain't gonna be able to change this outfit. They're so crooked and they're so embedded with crooks and so in bed with each other. There ain't no way to make a difference. It's a lost cause.
Well, you just can't tell, you know, but at least I can say one thing, we have a library that looks like a library.
Yeah, I can sleep now. And back when it didn't look like a library, I didn't know what to do.
I mean, I know it. I was just completely at loss when our library did not look like a library.
But thank goodness we've managed to salvage it and it looks like a good library.
Solve that problem. It's just amazing what the 60-some thousand more dollars additional cost on the roof will do.
It's like a facelift, Bob. We need to get facelifts and we'll look better too.
Yeah.
We'll look like librarians.
Yeah. Maybe we'll make our place look like a library.
That's all I need.
I'm not, you know, as poor as business is, I bet I have more customers than the library does.
No, they got 60,000 a week up there or something, don't they?
60,000 a week.
I thought that's what they said. Maybe I dreamed that.
Somebody did.
Well, that sounds as good as them other numbers they throw at us.
You know, it's about like Obama, you know, he produces them boat Chevrolets.
Yeah.
And sell them for 40-some thousand. It costs 80-some thousand to build them, you know.
You know, they're everybody's out defending Big Bird, but the public broadcasting people got a little over $1 million in stimulus money. Besides the 400 and something million they get every year, they got $1 million and something extra. They produced one job. That's pretty good.
So,
paid him well, didn't he?
Said that right. You know, if they would give me $1 million, I probably would produce 2 jobs.
One for me, I hope.
Yeah.
If I had $1 million, I'd give us both a raise, Bob. I'd double your income.
What?
I'd double your income.
You more than double mine.
I was thinking, you know, 2 times 0.
2 times 0
I can afford that.
You know, I don't know, that modern math, you better watch out.
I hadn't thought of that.
They can take 114,000 additional jobs in the month of August and turn it into a 0.03% decrease in the employment rate.
0.3.
Huh?
0.3.
0.03 is the
No.
same thing as 0.
No, it ain't.
0.03 is not the same thing as 0.03.
No, yeah, but it wasn't that. It was 0.3.
I thought it was 3/10
Okay.
of 1%.
Yeah, 0.3. It went from 8.2.
Huh?
Went from 8.2 to 7.9, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's 0.3.
Okay. Yeah. We got that solved, folks.
We're
gonna have
they cook the numbers.
We're gonna have spelling next. Speaking of spelling, D-I-X-I-E spells concrete.
Sure it does.
I know it does.
Right.
Oh, we don't want to forget to mention.
Is that Spanish for concrete?
Yeah, it is. Did you go to spaghetti supper? Did you go to spaghetti supper?
When was it?
It was this past weekend.
Swine?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
I didn't have you to get tickets and don't go.
I didn't either, but I tell you what, we got to remember the Shrine Circus is this weekend coming up. We'll tell you more about that tomorrow night. But back to spelling concrete, D-I-X-I-E. Big old yaller trucks.
That's Spanish for concrete.
Yeah, I guess it is. Spanish for concrete. D-I-X-I-E. That sounds like a Spanish word.
Yeah.
Concrete and concrete materials, all sorts of items to go along with concrete, as well as a complete septic system. Only thing you got to do is add the septic.
Well, there you go. All you got to do is have a place to put it.
Yeah. You get a hole and they'll fix you a way to fill it up, and you'll never know what's
You can always have one of them 2-story septic tanks.
Yeah, I've heard they don't drain real good.
Right.
Who built your septic tank on top of the hill anyway?
I don't know who put that septic tank in. I'll tell you who put my fireplace in back there in that apartment.
Who? One burnt the house down? No, that's you.
What's the one that's got the chicken down at the courthouse?
Brandon Paul? Oh, Miller.
Huh?
Miller?
Yeah, well, Dormus. Dormus built that fireplace back in that apartment.
That wasn't what caught on fire either.
No, it wasn't. Dormus built a good fireplace, yeah.
It's that hat on got you in trouble.
Yeah.
That there, as big a hill as that is, there ought to have been somewhere where you could put a septic tank lower than the house.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. I mean, there's a cliff there. They could just said over there and would him have to dug a hole. but they put it where we're going into the inlet into the septic tank is about even with the floor. And
that's so it won't run over.
It comes out and then it's got to make a left, which that's a no-no. You're not supposed to have any 90s in it except where it comes out of the commode, okay? And everything else is supposed to be 45 or less. But they got a 90 going into the septic tank. And on top of that, after it makes 90, it had to go a bill.
It gets slowed down, then it has to climb.
Yeah,
right?
then it had to climb. I went in there and took that little short 90 out and went way back and put me a big sweeping 90 in there and put a clean out there. And
sounds like fun.
Huh?
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was. So, but whoever put that septic tank in, you know, they sure didn't put it in the ground deep enough.
Good thing they didn't build your chimney. It wouldn't smoke out either.
What was I? A guy that built houses. I carried his insurance, and he built a couple of houses for me. I used to build some stick houses, and he was an excellent brick mason. But he hurt his back, so he just went into contract, didn't do hardly any brickwork. But he said this fella had him to put a fireplace in his house.
Yeah.
And that he figured the fellow wasn't going to pay him for the fireplace. So up there, I don't know how many feet down in there, he put a piece of glass in there.
Yeah.
Okay. And the fellow didn't pay him for it. And when he lit a fire in his fireplace, and actually smoked him out of that room, and he says, wanted him to fix it. He said, if you'll pay me, I'll fix it. The fellow said, you fix it, I'll pay you. He said, no, you pay me and I'll fix it. So the fellow paid him for fireplace. He got a ladder, went up there and dropped the rock through dropped the rock down through that piece of glass. He says, it's fixed.
You know what the guy thought about it?
I don't know what he thought. I know the guy that didn't pay him, and he was notorious for that, you know.
That's pretty smart. You could shine a light up there, and you could look up there and see daylight, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know why it won't
Well,
draw.
look, he couldn't see why in the world it wouldn't draw.
I like that. That's pretty good.
Anyway,
I wish there's some way to put a glass window in some of these politicians.
Yeah.
And then when they went astray, we just wouldn't drop no brick to it.
I built a big old fireplace in the house I built down in North Carolina. it was the way the hill went off. I hung the house out over the hill. And then
sounds good.
Then when I built the chimney, it came up to the deck level, and I had it built where I could cook in the fireplace and that sort of thing. We had 2 big flues come up through there, and I think I don't know how many yards of concrete I put in that hole to make sure it never did sink or settle. But I spent quite much money on concrete situating that fireplace that went up through there. And then me and my first wife divorced. She wanted the house. I got the farm, the rest of the farm. She got the house and 10 acres. And then she decided she didn't want to live in there, and I tried to buy the house off of her, and she wouldn't sell it to me. She didn't want me to have it, even though I'm the one to build it.
Well, maybe she figured.
Huh?
Maybe she figured she didn't want to saddle you with that mess you made.
Well, it worked out okay, I guess. She got her a nice little house paid for and some money, and TV. Hey, TV.
They must have had the wrong number. They didn't want to
Right,
talk.
there you go. That fella, I can't understand people. He called and asked about a refrigerator, and I called him back.
Yeah.
And he says, "Are you the one that down in Eagle Bluff that I bought the 32-inch TV off of?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm up on Jacksboro Pike across from the high school." He said, "Well, I must have called the wrong number." I said, "Well, how'd you get this number?" He said, "Well, I was calling about a refrigerator." I said, "Well, I got 2 refrigerators, and I do, folks. I got 2 real nice refrigerators. I ain't figured out. I think everybody around here's on meth or something, you know."
That does sound like an interesting conversation you had there.
Isn't that right? What was this like? I was showing a fellow something a while ago, and I had 2 of the items that he was looking at, and he said, "You got any more of these?" I said, "Well, Zach, how many do you want?"
You know, I heated this place with propane. They had a Mr. Heater.
Why?
Got it from Derry Wilson
Why?
at Wilson's Propane in Sawmill Holler, right in the middle of the road.
Why? Now, where's that?
562-5444.
I helped his business today.
Did you go down there and get
I sold a man a 40-pound propane tank to take down there and get filled up.
Well, what about, did you ever get you a thermocouple? You know, he's got parts down there.
No, I Afro-engineered that one of mine.
Like I done that over there.
Huh?
Like I done that over there. That over there broke, so I fixed it the other way.
Yeah, well, that's what I did do, you know.
But if you get to needing any Mr. Heaters or Mr. Heater parts, propane, or a good conversation, go there and see Digger. 562-5444.
That's for all your propane needs.
That's what it is.
And you know, that's 2 tanks I've sold in the past 3 days. I sold
Well, people's kind of interested in heat right now.
yeah, well, I sell them reasonable too, you know. I noticed they got them, let's see, I don't know what they want for a tank if you don't,
Hug TV.
Hug TV. Hey.
Talk. Are you having a good day? Yeah, but we can't hear you. Are you having a good day? We're having a good day, but you need to get closer to your telephone or something. I got 3 things I want to talk about. Do you understand me? No. I got 3 things I want to talk about. Okay, talk about them.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is entering himself into Royal Rumble.
What?
I didn't understand you.
We're having problems with you. We can't tell what you're saying.
I'm talking about the man I saw backstage tonight.
Talk to us.
He
Hey,
almost made his career ended.
We can't tell what you're saying. You need to turn your computer
He
down. And,
almost quit.
what?
I said that man's name was Triple H.
Oh, well. That's good to know. Anything else going on?
The Stone Cold Steve Austin is entering himself in the Royal Rumble.
Okay. Anything else?
Do you understand me?
No.
Looking me right in the eyes, face to face.
Well, get telephone that works. Call back. I think he's trying to insult us, but we couldn't figure out what he's
you're
saying.
too dumb to get insulted, don't you know that?
Yeah, you can't insult.
We're too dumb to get insulted.
Anything else going on out there?
We hope.
Biscuits. Tell them about the biscuits, Bob.
That what?
Biscuits.
Biscuit.
Yeah.
Well, there ain't nothing to tell. All you gotta do is go down to Rainbow Restaurant here, and one biscuit will tell you everything. One biscuit is worth 1,000 words.
One biscuit?
Yeah, one biscuit is worth 1,000 words.
Well, what if you want bologna on that biscuit?
Oh,
It'd
that's
just be worth
5,000
It'd
words.
just be worth 99 cents.
That's worth 5,000, but you can get a bologna biscuit, big old piece of bologna, good old bologna. They'll fry it just however you want it and slap it on that biscuit for 99 cents. Man, that's some good chomping down there. And if you don't want a bologna biscuit, get you one of them $2.99 breakfast plates, 2 eggs, grits or gravy, biscuit,
Or toast.
some type of meat, either bologna or bacon or sausage.
Yeah.
And you can't beat that for $2.99. Somebody was advertising their special, breakfast special, and they were plumb proud of it. It was $4 and something.
Yeah, bet it wasn't as good either.
Now, I'm sure it's not as good, you know, but they were proud of the price. And probably proud of their breakfast too, you know.
They must have been proud of it at that price.
They ought to be. If you've never eaten breakfast at Rainbow Restaurant, you've missed a treat. I had a ham biscuit, a country ham biscuit this morning. Is what I had, and
Them steak biscuits is good too.
yeah, I used to get them steak biscuits. I love them. They're delicious.
Well, we've eaten breakfast and we poured concrete. And
We rode around in bottle care.
yeah, we rode around the battle care. I guess
And
all we got to do is get her truck fixed.
Right.
TV.
Hey,
How you doing?
Pretty good. I can hear you now.
The Stone Cold Steve Austin is entering himself in the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
I said the Royal Rumble. What?
Is this Tokyo Joe?
it's Tokyo.
There's 3 things I want to talk about.
We'll talk.
I'm talking about the man I saw backstage tonight.
Who'd you see backstage tonight?
I said that man's name was Triple H.
Yeah, but you're not making sense. What stage were you at?
The man I saw backstage tonight.
I don't know. If you don't want to talk nothing but foolishness, we got enough of that to go around without any
There
help.
you go. We talk enough foolishness without any help.
Yeah. If you can't think but one thing to say, just say it and hang up.
Right, there you go. So, I thought that was Tokyo there for a minute.
I did too.
Tokyo makes more sense than he does.
I reckon he does.
And Akbar does.
Akbar?
Greg, we could get Akbar and Tokyo into a debate.
Sumo wrestling.
Into a debate.
Yeah.
Did you hear about Saturday Night Live's little skit?
I don't know anything about it. I just know they done something with Big Bird, didn't they?
Well, no, they had a skit showing the presidential debate from behind the
Yeah.
people, and they had Romney on the right and had the empty chair on the left.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, that's what the New Yorkers got on the front cover.
Right, yeah, I know that.
Clint Eastwood thought of that.
What?
Clint Eastwood thought of that.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've been all along. I thought Barack Obama was a shallow-minded nincompoop.
He's smarter than we are.
Well, I reckon so. You know, he's got a lot of, but I think he is he was created by the media.
Yeah, he's an empty suit.
They're the ones that created him and built him up to be so big. But you know, you can put anybody in there that can read what somebody else has written and do a good job.
Well, I've always been amazed that people talk about what a great orator he is. We all know he can't do it unless he's got a teleprompter, and I don't like his delivery style. That just don't sit good with me.
Well, that is the way you intellectuals do. You ever notice that?
Ted Turner, that way.
They give that, and then it while they're reflecting, letting you reflect on how witty they were, what they said.
I couldn't stand to hear Bill Buckley.
Right, and that's what. That's why Bill Buckley was the most boring person I ever listened to in my life.
You know, Bill Clinton is an excellent speaker.
Yeah.
I give him that. But Barack Obama, he's just not got it in my book. You know, Thomas Sowell did a piece, was available today. In 2007, when Barack Obama was about 2 weeks before he gave the speech, where he was out there doing his southern dialect and talking about how unfair that the government was treating New Orleans in comparison to New York and Florida, where they suspended the rules on matching contributions according to the Sanford Act so that they could rebuild the place. Well, anyway, he 2 weeks previous to that, he knew this. He was a senator. 2 weeks previous to that, the Senate had voted to waive the Sanford Act. He knew that. There was 14 people voted against it, and he was one of them.
Why?
I mean, that is about as low down as you can get.
Right.
And nobody ever digs any of that thing out. Ronald Reagan, they called him the Teflon president because nothing would stick. Everybody liked him, and when they got something on, they still liked him. Obama has a whole bunch of pseudo-journalists that all they do is cover up for his mistakes and refuse to look into some of the inconsistencies.
He stood right there and not only lied about that, but was part of the lie.
Yeah.
And because you know, TV.
No, I'm fine. This is Officer Mark from the Sheriff's Department. How can I help you this evening?
Well, we need you. We'll call you.
I'm Deputy Mark from the Sheriff's Department.
That's nice.
Are you calling here?
No, I've never called you.
Stop calling here.
What are you doing calling us?
Stop calling here.
I've not called you.
Have I had any calls lately?
Perfect. I'm gonna invite you now. This is
If I get any calls, let me know.
I'm gonna invite you now. This is the Sheriff's Department. No one's called you.
Good to know. If we need you, we'll call you. Guy needs to get him another phone, but his voice is getting better.
What'd you call him for?
I don't know what I called him for. Hard to say, ain't it?
Not like you were talking about, kept calling, what was it? They were calling, have I, is Bob there?
He called and said, is Bob there? Oh, we ain't got no Bob. Is Bob there? No, we ain't got no Bob. Hello, this is Bob. I had any call? That gets him mad.
He must have heard us do that.
What can they do to him for impersonating a police officer, you reckon?
Was he impersonating police
Well, he
officer?
said he was a police department.
Right, okay, well, good. Police.
Yep. I'm not sure which department it was.
Well, I mean, if they can get you for impersonating
you can't
police
even-
officers, you probably could indict the entire
You
force.
can't even call the police department anymore.
Is that it?
Ugh, TV.
TV.
I'm gonna invite you now. This is the sheriff's department.
Oh, well, we know. Do what?
Are you on here?
Do what?
I'm inviting you to stop calling.
Okay, I won't call you anymore.
I've already told you who I am.
Well, that's good. I don't know who this guy is, but if he thinks I'm that stupid, he needs to talk to somebody else.
We ain't calling nobody all night long.
No, we've got witnesses, ain't we?
I wish you'd quit calling him now. He's getting ill.
Yeah, he's getting plumb aggravated, ain't he?
Oh, Lord.
We're going to have an unlisted number for this call-in show.
You have to do like they do down at 960. To call the swap shop, you got to have the password.
You really?
Yeah.
And how do you get the password?
Well, you got to listen to the station at some other time other than the swap shop to get the password.
Well, that's smart.
Yeah.
Do they get a lot of calls?
No. No, I don't think they do. But I know the other swap shop is just as busy as a bee.
They ain't got no password.
No, they don't have to have a password, you know. So maybe it'll work out for them.
Maybe we get us a password.
Yeah, that's what we need. Well, next time he calls, we'll ask him what the password is.
Yeah. You got any car parts or need any?
No, but if I did, well, yeah, I'm going to have some. I know anytime my daughter comes over, there's something afoot. Well, she come over today and she's got brake problems, you know. So we'll be getting brake shoes and whatever else we need from down at Napa.
You mean across from IGA?
Across from IGA, I guarantee you that they'll come up with the parts. And it won't be one penny more than anywhere else, and you get good, in most cases, American-made parts.
562-9406 if you want some Napa parts.
That's locally owned, locally operated. They're here to please you as well as make some money for themselves. So you go on down and see Randy and his helpers at Napa Auto Part across from IGA. They'll pick you up, whether it be a 1940 model farm-haul tractor or whether it be a 2012 Lexus. Doesn't make any difference. Wonder how one of them 1941 carburetors would fit on that Lexus.
Them Lexuses, them Lexi ain't got no carburetor.
Well, no.
Wouldn't fit too good, I wouldn't think.
Well, reckon how that fuel injection would fit on your farm-haul.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to do too with gravity feed. With gravity feed, you know, my farm-haul ain't even got a water pump on it.
Well, I know there's a percolating system. That out there ain't got a water pump on it.
Hard to believe, ain't it?
Is that right? What you can do, instead of using antifreeze, use coffee and you can have your cup every now and then.
You think that'd work?
I don't know whether it would or not.
Well,
but you know another thing, they won't get hot even on the hottest days. They just keep right on going. Might have to add a little fluid to it once in a while, but
you can rebuild them forever. They got sleeves in them.
I know they have.
And I've got, when you bought it, when you come out originally, you started on gasoline and run it on kerosene.
Right. Yeah.
It'd be cheaper.
Yeah, I had one. Yeah.
Kerosene cost more than gas.
Back then, when it come out, gasoline was about 15 to 16 cents, and the kerosene was like about 5 cents.
Yeah.
So
people started changing from kerosene to gas now. So it'd be cheaper.
Right. Yeah, gas is cheaper than kerosene.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If they would if they would do everything they could energy-wise, drill here, drill now, and all that, if the gas prices would go to $1 a gallon, can you imagine how much business and how much work they would be? Everybody'd have a job.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, you know, I honestly believe that if Mitt Romney is elected, he said the first day that he's in office that he's going to approve the Keystone Pipeline, that he's going to open up the Arctic, Amur province in Alaska, and he's going to open up the East Coast outer shell limit for oil and gas exploration. And you know, the continental shelf on the East Coast stretches out 40, 50 to 100 miles in some places.
well, you know, California's out there now complaining about having $8 a gallon, $6 a gallon gas, and I don't feel a bit sorry for them.
I don't either. That tickles me to death.
They say that they're going to investigate it. That's going to do them a lot of good. But they're saying that one of the problems is the refinery went down because they didn't have enough electricity to supply it.
Right.
Well, that's the way it is whenever you won't build no power plants, no new refineries. TV.
TV, what's the password?
Sheriff's Department. Stop calling here.
Look like you get a new line, don't it?
Yeah.
Something new to say.
You ain't got an automatic dialer on there, have you? Dialing that boy.
That ain't the problem. He's got a parrot on his shoulder, and it just knows one sentence.
Yeah, well, you know, well, they will not allow any oil to be imported that's been refined elsewhere because they got so many different blends that you got to have. You know, that's a place Digger ought to open up his gas station because he's got so many different blends on that propane.
Yeah, he could probably do that. But you know, down there in San Francisco where they don't wear no breeches, they probably wouldn't need no Mr. Heaters.
Right,
must be warm.
Right, yeah. Self-heat.
Yeah.
You ever been to San Francisco?
No, and I ain't going either.
That is a beautiful place to be ruined. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. The bay comes in like this. You can go up there on Knob Hill, and you can look down on that bay area. Of course, you can get you a, just hang it up.
What's the password? He didn't know it, did he?
You can catch the trolley car up or down off of Knob Hill.
How do you go up from the top?
How
do you go up
well,
from the top?
You go down. When you're up top, you can catch it down, you know. And we went into...
Did you wear a flower in your hair?
No, I did not. We went into a drugstore there, and my buddy bought 2 cigars.
Yeah. I bet you can't smoke them outside now. I bet you
well,
can't
you could
smoke.
then. This was back in the 80s, I believe, something like that. And he got a receipt for them, you know. But when you walked out the door, they hadn't rubbed them across that thing, and it sounded the alarm. And it was about almost a block away from that place. The police come up and wanted to know who had the cigars, and he says, I did. And they said, well, you're under arrest for stealing them cigars. He said, hell, I didn't steal them. Says, here's my receipt. Says, they just didn't rub them, boy. He got ill about them. Them San Francisco policemen, they didn't quite know how to handle somebody that stood up to them, you know. They thought they was going to have to whip all 3 of us, you know, and you want to just...
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. We won't have to listen to it.
There you go.
Figure out how to do it. Can't talk
You
for
want
all
me
this
to you want me to get my axe? All right, you have just been disconnected.
I won't call you no more now.
Right now. Yeah, they just didn't scrub them across that thing. That's how they were out there. Even on cigars, you had to scrub them across the thing, or it would alarm as you went out the door.
And what did they say when you produced a receipt?
Well, they apologized, You better be glad it wasn't me. I would have had some choice words for I'm not the least bit politically correct.
I've noticed that. Yep, I've noticed that. Well, Bob, we've about done enough for tonight. You reckon we ought?
Well, you don't want to call him again?
No, I've done called him enough. I ain't gonna call him more than that.
You got caller ID on that?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. But I can't tell on this who it is.
Right. Huh?
I can't tell on this one who it
Right.
is.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we got right damage here. We ain't completely out of time yet.
No, we got a little time left, but I've about said all I want to say.
Well,
I've insulted everybody I can think of.
that's the only thing I want to say. Those of you who are watching, be sure to watch the vice presidential debate this Thursday night. In fact, they were so afraid of bumping heads with us that they switched it from Wednesday night to Thursday night.
I guess we kind of taught them last week.
I guess we taught them last time. We did, And but let me tell you something. Watch the debate. And then cut your television off. You don't need somebody to tell you what you just saw and what you just heard.
Well, I like for people to explain it to me.
Well, no, they'll explain it to you where you say, well, did I really see that or did I really hear that? Because, they're going to tell you what they want you to hear. And if I got sense enough to sit there and watch it and sense enough to sit there and listen to it, I've got sense enough to know what I saw and to know what I heard. So I don't care anything about hearing all these commentaries after the debate's over. They had me believing that Barack Obama had won that last debate.
Really? Who told you that?
Everybody, all them commentators,
Well, I thought it was kind of one-sided myself, but I didn't see it that way.
I didn't either. I sure didn't. Because I think the true Barack Obama come out, he the man don't know nothing.
Well, he told him all he knowed.
Yeah, and all he knew was not very much.
Kind of picked up on that.
Look, they say, well, he's going to make it up on the foreign policy debate.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, is where he is really vulnerable.
You're going to have a problem explaining that Ben Gay incident, ain't he?
Yeah, I know that is. Ben Gay, he probably thinks that's something you rub on your back.
Yeah. Benghazi is not the same as Ben Gay.
Yeah. So, and see, it's come out. They had made all kinds of requests for additional security. In fact, they even had a contingent of the Navy SEALs there, and they pulled them out of Benghazi right before 9/11.
Well, they got some explaining to do, but if they can just keep it tamped down for another 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, they got it covered up long enough.
Yeah. Well, here again, so many of those people who support Barack Obama, they honestly think Benghazi is something you rub on your back. I mean, really, you got a bunch of uneducated people that support Barack Obama. And to him, he is God's gift to them. And I guess he is, but he is he's a taker. He couldn't produce a job if he had to.
Well, I think the question ought to be, who would you rather have to invest your money for the next 4 years?
Invest it?
Yep.
He don't have any of it. He would never invest any of our money.
Any of his money.
Supplement it with the Chinese.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's probably the way it ought to be. I mean, the Chinese been good to us. They've been letting us borrow money now for a while.
He said he thought it was completely almost a crime that George Bush had spent so much money during the 8 years he was in office.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he gets in office, he turns around and spends twice as much in 4 years as George spent in 8 years. Still think George spent too much. I mean, I'm firmly of the opinion that he spent too much money also, and that a great deal of it was not spent wisely. And it just come out today. Did you know that all of the oil revenue from Iraq goes to the Iraqi government?
Yeah.
I thought George Bush went over there for the oil.
Well, he got shortchanged. He wasn't a good negotiator.
I think not, dude. I thought he was going to divide Iraq into 3 different provinces.
No, that was Biden wanted to do that.
Huh?
Biden wanted to do that.
Divide into 3 provinces.
Yeah.
BP, Texas.
No, he wanted to divide it into 3, but he didn't mention us about that. Must have been Dick Cheney wanted to do.
Yeah, he wanted to divide into 1 province for BP, 1 for Texaco, and 1 for
Exxon.
Exxon. Yeah.
I guess so.
That worked.
Worked for me.
Yeah.
I don't know why I ain't got an oil well or 2 of my own. I guess I just didn't play my card right.
You know, the Bushes have been out of the oil business since the 60s.
Yeah, they went in the ball business there for a while.
George did. I forget what George made a lick off something, turned around and invested in the Texas Rangers. And
seems like all these oil men buy a ball team after they get well off.
well, yeah, even Pilot.
Yep. I think that's the last thing in the world I'd want to own.
Well, there's an awful lot of it. It's a regulated monopoly is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't even have to build your own building. Somebody else will build your arena for you.
Let the taxpayers build it. I guarantee you, if UT didn't have a big stadium, the taxpayers in Knox County would build one for them.
Yeah.
Because of all the revenue that the football games bring. And of course, it's got so that maybe the basketball is a little profitable too, but primarily football. When you bring 90-some thousand fans in, probably, I don't know, $2 to $3 million ticket sales per game.
What if they get a hotel motel tax off of that? Entertainment.
Yeah, I think there's a hotel motel tax in Knox County.
No, I just wondering if they got an entertainment tax on them tickets.
Well, I don't know that what they get anything other than they would off regular tickets, you know.
Well, folks, it's been nice knowing you. That's what they said. That's what the cook said on the Edmund Fitzgerald after the water went in. So, been nice knowing you. We're gonna go. We gotta go down to the sheriff's department. Get them to quit calling us.
Oh, Lord.
See you tomorrow night on Channel 12 and back here on Eric TV at 8 o'clock.
TV also. We'll see you tomorrow night, folks. And all of you drive careful. Be good to yourself.
Bye.